am Saila Penumarthy, and I work for a credit union as a project manager right now. I'm an enterprise project manager, but work very closely with technology teams.
And what or who inspired you to join this field?
So it's more than what or who, it's mostly the circumstances that inspired. Coming from India and from my generation, it was mostly a thing of, I don't want to say necessity. That's how the future was defined for us.
Mhm.
So it's rather than one person, it's most circumstances. And also, my mother was a teacher. She was actually our school principal as well. When I have seen her alumni coming back who had been pursuing their careers in STEM, that's where the future looked bright. So that's my motivation for picking up this field.
Well, based on your answer, would you consider this your passion or is it just like circumstance again?
I would say it started as circumstances, but then it later turned into passion.
This question is kind of like stemming off the last one, but did you pursue this field early in life, like after high school or later in life?
Right away, even in high school itself. Yes, I wanted to be on the STEM side.
Is there something you wish you did differently during your journey in entering your field?
Entering my field, I would want to take this question from career perspective. I concentrated on tool or software specific career growth. Given where I am today, and I have realized my potential now better than I did when I was younger, I I think I should have concentrated more on a business area, because when you're in technology, it doesn't matter if it's one tool, one software, or the technology in itself. It's the area that can define what technologies you can improve and how you can grow in your career. So I prefer, if I can go back, I think that's what I will do. I would concentrate on one area, as in data analytics, rather than learning and becoming an expert in a tool or a software.
Is your current work male dominated? What challenges did you have to overcome to assert yourself in your work field?
I would say it was more than at present. I'm seeing it is reducing because there is a constant and steady inflow of women holding a strong ground now. But it sure was a few years ago, a male-dominated field. So you have to be confident. You have to stand up for yourself. And I, for myself, I'm soft-spoken up to an extent, and after that I have always spoken. It's important that you be heard. So unless there is, you address your own problem, people are not going to realize, nobody is going to change. It's not just in this situation, in any situation in life, it's important that you speak up for yourself and stand up for yourself. So there had been situations where I have and also calculate your words in your head before you speak. That way you will not misspeak anything. You will address the point accurately. So there had been instances where I had to let people know, and believe in yourself. When there is an idea that you have, I understand it's mostly the common belief is that when the idea is coming from a man, it's taken more seriously than when it comes to a woman. Don't give up on the first shot itself. Believe in yourself, repeat your ideas. You be your first audience. If you don't even stand with yourself, nobody will. So that's what I practice.
And what gave you the confidence to choose to pursue your passion in college, like field you're in?
So the confidence is, I had been constantly seeing the social outcome of this field, and particularly girls who had been pursuing this. So I knew there is going to be a future for this. This is the first because there is always a time and a position in timeline in history itself. So technology, when I started to pursue, and I have been in STEM, so that was the new next big thing. So I knew that I can carve my own niche as I progress. So yeah, that was my confidence when I was in college.
How did you deal with the stereotypes of girls going into STEM throughout high school?
So the main stereotype is that the work life balance, right?
Mhm.
So we typically think it's a stressful environment to continue in. So just it's not like that. It's not like that. Stay focused, stay planned, and there in any job that you hold, it's going to be just as hectic. So career is important, and it doesn't have to be STEM. Any field that you choose, you'll have to wise up and come up with this work-life balance anyway. Um, so there had been many girls who had been making big in this field and in this industry. So stay focused and stay planned.
What would be your advice to give to young girls who don't feel confident in committing to their passion?
So my advice would be you already won the first step. You've realized your passion. You do know that that's your passion. Uh, when it comes to confidence, you're questioning your future because you haven't seen it yet. So lay a long-term plan for yourself, not just this semester, not just this year or the first exams that might be coming up, but lay a bigger picture in front of you. And that will show you a path where you can be if you pursue this passion. And then that will give you confidence to commit yourself uh, to what you feel important for you. So look at the big picture. So there are a lot of resources available these days, especially with the evolution of internet. And try and find yourself a community, be in a group. You can inspire, you can find ideas, you can bounce ideas off of each other. So you know where you want to be and you don't know how to get there. And there are already people who have reached that point and they can show you a way. And when you are learning from them, actually, you can figure out new ways for yourself how you can get there. So try and find yourself a suitable community where you find similar minded people so that you can continue on that path.
Who were and are your female role models? Who are the female mentors in your life, and what impact did they have on your choice to be in the STEM field?
So who were and are, I would say my mother was my female role model. Of course, she was not in STEM, but I have drawn a lot of inspiration from her, as in how to conduct myself in life itself. And then who inspired me in STEM were definitely my mother's alumni. She had been a very strong teacher. So she held a stronger community with the students that she had been helping with. Whenever I have seen those students coming back and they share their stories and their success stories and where they are, that was quite inspirational. And I do come from a society, it was a different. I grew up in the south of India in the 70s. I was born in the 70s. And of course, I was in school in 80s and 90s. So that was not a time, uh, we didn't have many examples. Women coming into workforce itself was a new thing. I wouldn't say rare, it was still coming up. So drawing inspiration from women who had already established a career for themselves, and also especially in STEM, that was all of those women who stood up for themselves. It was not easy. They were sharing their stories in when they were pursuing in college and career and the travels they have to make. So it was not easy. So I knew for sure the path was not easy, but there had been strong women who had taken up that challenge. So that was very inspirational for me.
And the last question. What does a female role model mean to you?
A female role model to me is a woman who would actually draw the most potential out of another woman, a woman that can inspire another woman to realize her potential. So, like my mother did, like I was saying just before, a few minutes before, my mother was not in STEM, of course, but she was a career woman. She was a single mother because we lost her father when we were quite young. And there's a lot of work-life balance and confidence. And sometimes you have to be soft-spoken, sometimes you have to be strong-minded. All of that. It's a fine balance. It's not one path, it's not one idea, it's not one personality. You need to balance yourself. For that, you need to be continuously evaluating yourself. While in that process, there can be moments where you're down or you're overhyping yourself. So, a female role model is somebody who actually gives a reality check to the other woman and draw her most potential out. It's not over pushing, it's not undermining. It's every person has their potential, and to the fullest, whoever is able to draw, that's the role model. And that's how I believe every girl should be.
Mhm.
While inspiring others, you inspire yourself.
Okay, thank you.